Fresh bread, butter, and jelly. Doesn't get any better than that. Today, we're gonna bake some bread. I haven't had fresh bread in the house, homemade, in a bit. And we've got all this Amish Friendship Starter, and I'm looking at trying to make a sandwich type bread. We're gonna give it an experiment today and see what happens. First thing I want to do is yesterday was actually the day to feed my starter, and I had a lot going on. So all I got to do, oh, it's nice and airy. All I got to do was give it a quick feed and on about the project I was working on. So today I'm gonna give it a good stir, because you stir it every day. And I'm also gonna measure out approximately 1 cup of starter here. Making sure to use nothing metal on this part. And I'm gonna put it in the part that we're gonna bake with is gonna go into my mixer. I am going to use my stand mixer to knead this today. I like to kind of, you know, it can get kind of dry. You're not careful. So we'll clean that up a little bit. And put this plastic back on and set it aside. We can work on more baking projects with that another time. So next I have a 1/2 cup of warm water. And to that, you're supposed to add a packet of yeast, which is 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast, because I have mine in bulk. And what I want to do is I'm setting this aside. I'm going to let it bloom. I think I'm going to go ahead and give it a quick stir. About 10 minutes, it should get foamy. Oh boy, I've already messed up. This recipe suggests you also add 1/4 teaspoon of sugar to your yeast. So there we go. Well, it didn't even take 10 minutes, and this is foamy, and I don't want it to overflow, so we know it's good and active. We're gonna throw this yeast mixture in here, along with some warm milk. Vegetable oil. And don't worry, guys, I will put a link to either the recipe or the website where I found the recipe down below. And it called for a tablespoon of salt. As a bread baker, that just seems way too much for me. So I am not going to do that. They also suggest that you start with 2 cups of flour. I know how things work in my area. 3 cups is going to probably be good. They have a range of just under 3 to just over 3 cups of flour, and I'm going to use 3 cups of bread flour because I'm not going to be kneading this by hand. I am going to let my mixer do the work for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it on 1 for just a little bit until everything gets well incorporated, and then I'm going to go ahead and let this knead for, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes. I'll just kind of check out the dough and see what it looks like. For now, we're just kind of bringing it all together so that when we turn it up, the flour doesn't kind of fly out at us. And that's kind of to the point where we can turn it up a little. And then once it starts pulling from the sides a little more, here we are. And, oop, I can turn it up another one. Another one. And then we're gonna knead this now. Let the machines do the work if you can. We have 3 minutes, and oh wow. It's definitely a soft dough, really sticky. You can't quite do the window pane test with it. It's not quite there yet. So I think I'm going to knead it a little bit more. But I don't know that I want to add flour because I think that it'll stay together well. So let's just go ahead and knead this for a little bit more. Let's check our dough again. It all stays together well. Oh, there we go. That's a lot more stretchy than it was. So I'm going to get my clean hands a little bit dirty. And we're going to pull this dough off the hook. Okay. Now this is where a dough scraper would come in handy, where you could get any of the bits off the side and easily pull this away. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about half of this. See if I can do this so you can see too. I'm going to spray the dough, and then I'm going to flip it. See, we're almost a little too sticky. Right on that fine line. Okay. Spray this half. Spray that part of the dough because we don't want it. I'm going to flip it over. Spray the top. You don't want it to stick, but you don't want it to dry out. So next, we're going to get some plastic wrap. And we're going to put on top here. And I also want to cover it with a towel. We're going to set that aside in a warm place for probably about 2 hours. It says 1 to 2. It's a cold winter's day. I want to give it a couple of hours to do the first rise. I'm going to tell you a little secret. I could have added a little more flour to the dough, but in my experience, the a little bit sticky dough are always the ones that taste the best. So I'm hoping I made the right decision. You guys, I got really busy, guys, and my timer didn't go off like it was supposed to, so it rose probably 2.5 hours at least. But I gotta show you this baby. Look at this. She's a happy one. For sure, for sure. We have more than doubled, but that's okay. Now, I was reading in the directions, and there is a whole new way that they have you shape your dough. So this is gonna be fun to have this, because I don't know if you guys know, but I used to run a bread route where I would bake a bunch of bread and then deliver it in the surrounding counties to people. And this was, it started pre-pandemic, really got going during the pandemic. And I did farmer's market. Anyway, I did it different. Okay, it said to fold it in third. No, I did that wrong. I've already done it wrong. Okay. It wants you to fold it basically in together. And we're supposed to pinch it together. And then I think I wanted you to fold in half. And that's what I can't decide. If maybe it was supposed to be stretched like this. I mean, I'm used to like doing stretch and folds, and I don't know. This is this is unique and different for me. You're supposed to tuck it in. Okay. Well, I can't help it. I gotta roll it. I just have to. This isn't gonna work for me. It's not in me to do it. We tried. Okay, I want to spray this really well. And we're gonna let it rise. It says 30 to 45 minutes. We just don't want to, they said don't go an inch past. I put it in my tall pan that I use up here. And I'm trying to see if this will work for sandwiches. And so I don't mind if it goes up a little. So usually I go about even, but they said up to an inch over, and maybe that's because of the kind of bread it is. I don't know. But we'll come back in about 30 minutes and check on it. We have risen up. So I'm going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees, and then we're gonna bake it for 35 to 40 minutes. And then while it was preheating, it went ahead and kept rising. So I stuck it in the oven, and look how beautiful it was when it came out. I took butter and put over the top just to keep the crust nice and soft. And it sliced so beautifully. Got the heel here. Oh, it smells lovely. We call it the butt around here. Very good. Not too sweet, dense, but yet fluffy. I don't know if it's gonna be, it would make excellent toast, excellent side. I'm not sure if it's gonna be quite fluffy enough for sandwich bread, but I like the recipe, and I think you will too. Give it a try, my friends.